Welcome back to Rising to the Occasion, everybody. We are here to break down all of the biggest matchups, but right now, the biggest matchups in college football. The college football playoffs are upon us, starting with Friday night, Oklahoma versus Alabama. We just previewed that one, so if you're watching this before that matchup happens, go check that one out real quick on the channel. And of course, tonight we're going to be right now we're going to be going over the Texas A&M Miami matchup, big time matchup, one of the most exciting matchups. But of course, I'm Josh Mahler. I'm joined as always by Jeremy. Jeremy, today we've got a big heavyweight showdown preview.
100%. I mean, Miami versus A&M. What other better way would you want to start kicking off a Saturday, December 20th at noon Eastern time or 11 a.m. Central Standard Time for us here in the Midwest? I mean, obviously, make sure to tune in on to ABC. I mean, Josh, it's definitely going to be an absolute fun matchup between Miami and A&M. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of there's a lot of unforeseen circumstances that both of these teams have been wanting to get into the CFP. But I mean, both teams now making it into the CFP. I mean, there's definitely going to be a lot of stuff going on, and this is definitely going to be a really good matchup, in my opinion,
Yeah,
Josh.
and you look at this matchup. Some even call this the matchup of the two teams that beat Notre Dame earlier on in the season. So
Yeah,
it's just some people are saying that. I don't know who they are, but we'll find them and point them out to you. But anyways, yeah,
yeah.
you brought it up in a different way. What a way to kick off the Saturday slate. But this is like the most exciting game of the Saturday slate. The other two, which we'll preview as well, between JMU and Oregon and Tulane and Ole Miss, those aren't exciting games. No one's really chomping at the bit to watch those two games. Why don't we get this one as the nighttime slate, the big time matchup
Yeah.
to close out the day? And instead, it's kind of a crime that we're doing this at Texas A&M, at Kyle Field, down in College Station, one of the loudest stadiums, but you're in one of the most incredible college football environments in the country. But I mean, you're doing it at 11 a.m. Local time. That's kind of crazy. But anyways, if you're Carson Beck, you're able to really find out what that 12th man really means here at Kyle Field.
100%, dude. That 12th man. I mean, that just brings a whole different level. It's one thing to bring it at nighttime, but like you said, this has got to be an 11 a.m. kickoff. I mean, this would definitely be an absolute barn burner if it was at a night game. But Josh, let's go ahead and get into the tailor tape. Like, obviously, let's kick it off. Let's start off with the basics at A&M. Like, coming into it at 11-1 with their only loss coming of the season, literally against Texas. I mean, it definitely is a really really tough pill to swallow. But I mean, how much of that rivalry means down there, obviously with Texas and Texas A&M. I mean, it's definitely a big time rivalry between the state of Texas. But I mean, Josh, they can put that one loss behind them just because, like I said, this is the CFP now. Wins and losses don't necessarily matter. All that what matters is if you go 1-0, they can just chalk that slate down and you can just keep rolling.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think with Texas A&M too, 11-1, that's what we need to point out. Their one loss being to Texas, and some people, and I feel this in a lot of ways. Some people think that they've been exposed as frauds just because they lost to Texas. I don't know, the last two games, or you go back to South Carolina, the way they performed against South Carolina, getting whooped. They came back and won that game, and then
Yeah.
Texas. That's a tough Texas team, but it does feel a little odd here. But on the other side, you got Miami, 10-2, kind of sneaking in as the at-large bid right there, edging out Notre Dame, which I think rightfully so. And we've already talked about that. We can talk about this all day. I'm glad that the Miami got in. If we have to put it as a head-to-head between Miami and Notre Dame, I'm glad that Miami got the head-to-head. I don't like that it happened the way that it happened, but here they are, the Canes. They've really been on the roll since midseason, and they really feel like they're a team that has something to prove in this playoffs.
100%. They have a whole bunch to prove. I mean, everyone can say what the heck they want to about them, but really, they're here to mean business. I mean, historically, like Miami is actually, which is crazy to think, they lead the series 3-2, and they won the last meeting with a score of 48-33 down in Miami. But that was at a little bit of a different time, like different teams, different QBs. I mean, there's a lot to look at just because you can say what you want about this one specific stipulation. But like I said, that was a complete different scenario with time and teams and quarterbacks and all that little bit jazz, Josh. But I mean, this is a whole brand new situation, and we definitely do have a really, really good battle ahead of us.
Yeah, and you brought it up too. I think you look at the quarterbacks too. You might as well kind of call this a mirror match when you're talking about the quarterbacks, Jeremy.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like Carson Beck from Miami, the Georgia transfer. Obviously, if you've never heard the name Carson Beck, you've been living under a rock. I mean, he's thrown for over 3,000 yards with 25 touchdowns, and he's had a little bit of a higher number of interceptions, having it at 10. But I mean, that still doesn't matter for having 3,000 yards with 25 touchdowns and having it under your belt.
Well, and I think six of those, if I could remember correctly, I think six of those were early on in the season as well.
Yeah.
So he's really cleaned it up towards the end of the season, done a really good job. And then of course you go over to the other side. That's why I kind of call it a mirror match with the quarterbacks. With A&M's Marcel Reed, a guy who has very identical numbers: 25 touchdowns, 10 picks. The question is, really, I mean, who really kind of comes away with this? Who scores first? Who's the one that's going to uh, miss their opportunity first? I think that's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah, exactly. Like that, this is really going to be a fun one. Who's going to blink first? Who's going to make that first mistake? But I mean, you talk about Carson Beck, for example. Like he's been really, really efficient and confident since the transferring from Georgia. Now, but just Kyle Field can rattle even seasoned vets like him. Obviously, like for meanwhile, but like you looking to bounce back after a tough loss to Texas. I mean, it's a lot of pressure on a young quarterback who's been the face literally of the Aggies reassurance. I mean, there's no pressure. I mean, just having it on a young quarterback like that and then going up against a guy like the name Carson Beck. I mean, he's been around for a good chunk of time. Obviously, you look at where he's came from. I mean, this is a quarterback that can definitely sling the ball. Don't get me wrong, both of these quarterbacks can sling the ball, but I mean, this is definitely going to be a barn burner.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And when I look at this, I mean, really with any game, I think you can look at the trenches. That's really where it's all about, and
Hmm.
it's going to be decided by the trenches to, um, and really to. I mean, you look at what Texas A&M has done. They tie Oklahoma for most sacks in the nation, 41 sacks, and led by the monster himself too, with Cassius Howell doing his thing. And I mean, this is a defense that likes to get back there, and so for A&M, I think that's really important, being able to get back there, winning in the trenches on your pass rush, getting back there with guys like Cassius Howell being able to get back there, sack Carson Beck, and do your thing.
Oh yeah, 100%, dude. That guy's literally been, he's literally been a wrecking ball and wrecking literally offensive lines this entire year. Like it's not just one week or a couple weeks here and there, but he's literally doing every single week all year around. Like, but on the flip side of things, like Miami's defense has racked up some pretty good stack numbers and having 34 sacks of their own. Like that's nothing to joke about. I mean, like it may be the biggest stat of all, and like for the Hurricanes offensive line has only given up 11 sacks this entire season.
That's
It's
impressive.
actually it's actually top 10 nationally, which is some serious protection if I had to say so.
Yeah, yeah, no joke. I mean, that's really impressive. I mean, that's unstoppable forces, going against each other, and it's kind of that unstoppable force of a defensive line against what seems like an immovable object of an offensive line. And so I think when you look at this matchup in the trenches too, that's where I think this is the most impressive, because or the most fun matchup to look at, because
Hmm.
you've got a strength in Texas A&M on their defensive line going against Miami's strength in their offensive line. And when you look at this, Jeremy, can A&M's pass rush get home against a line like you mentioned, who barely lets anyone really touch their quarterback in Carson Beck?
Yeah, I mean, like they're definitely gonna have to do something. But like, if not, like, does like you kind of think does Beck kind of carve them up a little bit, or like can that balance shift not just a little bit of the game, like could definitely shift the entire game. I mean, having that kind of a repertoire, I mean, you definitely do have a lot to realistically look for, Josh. I mean, that's just that's just the biggest thing. Like if they can carve them up, or what the heck is the shift going to be for this entire game. I mean, there's going to be a lot to think about for both sides of the ball.
No doubt. And in this matchup, here's the intangible part of this matchup too, and that's momentum.
Hmm.
A&M's coming off that kind of deflating loss, and like I mentioned, even the performance that was a bit deflating. You came away with the win against South Carolina, so their momentum has really slowed down towards the end of the season. Meanwhile, Miami they just squeaked in, and it feels like they've kind of got new life. And both of these teams have had quite a bit of rest leading up to the point of this game because they've neither one of them have had to play in their conference championship game. But I feel like when you look at the momentum, it feels to me like it kind of leans towards Miami because of that big boost that they got from A&M expected to be in the playoffs. Miami
Yeah.
squeezed in at the last second, literally in the midnight hour.
Literally 100%. Like that can mean a lot in games like this, Josh. I mean, like one team's like picking itself off the mat, and the other team's literally walking in with honestly house money.
That's
Like
what it
you
feels
gotta
like.
think about it. Yeah, that's what it really feels like it. But I mean, you gotta look at a lot of these situations. Like I would rather be the team walking with house money, but I mean, like there's anything's possible in this kind of a situation.
Yeah, and still, you really can't ignore the environment either because Kyle Field, that home of the 12th man, over 100,000 strong there in the stadium. It's going to be incredible. You know that every single snap, their entire stadium is going to be rocking, everyone yelling and trying to disrupt Miami. And Carson Beck really hasn't faced anything quite like this since his Georgia days. I mean,
Yeah.
the ACC environments, especially this year, it feels like I don't think they really compare to what Carson Beck had to deal with back at Georgia and the SEC environments they had to deal with there. It's nothing like even in the Big Ten. If you were to go to the big house or go into the shoe, or I think this is a different type of environment that they just haven't had to deal with this season. And I guess you could look at the other side of things and say that Carson Beck has some experience with atmospheres just like Kyle Field. But now he's with him being the guy under center. All eyes are on him to really carry them through that hostile environment.
100%, dude. Like just the crazy thing is just like I'm kind of thinking about this a little bit in my head while you're talking. Like we got identical QBs doing defenses, and realistically, two teams with a complete opposite vibe coming into this matchup. Like I don't know about you, dude, but like I love it, and this is definitely gonna be like I know I've said this a lot of times, but I'm really looking forward to this game, and it's definitely gonna be fun, and I love it.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think identical quarterbacks when you look at certain stats too. But then I guess the thing for me, and I'll probably get into this a little bit, is Marcel Reed with his legs can do a lot more than Carson Beck can. I think that's when you look at the two quarterbacks, that's the thing that really separates these two.
Hmm.
And so that's where I think, man, this is going to be a very exciting game, no doubt. I think in many ways, I think this could be the most exciting playoff game.
Hmm.
Obviously, for me, I'm a little biased. I'm going to say the Oklahoma Alabama game is the most exciting. The only reason why I say that one wouldn't be the most exciting as a college football fan is because it's just a rematch. This is a brand new, fresh game against two teams going against each other that beat Notre Dame earlier on in the season. But Jeremy, let's go ahead and call it. Who are you taking?
This is really, like I said, a really fun one. You got some teams with house money. You got some teams that are just itching to get in. But realistically, like I'm gonna go out there. I'm leaning with Miami on this. Like the whole line gives Beck the time that he needs, and they ride at like nothing to lose. Like that's just what their energy is like. It's just like a nothing to lose energy all the way to the finish. I mean, like some teams like that, they have the stamina to back it up, and just even the reputation, morely, I should say. But I mean, like that's just what I look at Miami. It's like you have nothing to lose. I mean, like I said, they were really on the outsides looking in, literally like you said, at the last middle of the hour just to be able to make it in the CFP. But I'm going with Miami here. I think it's definitely going to be really the fun one all the way to the finish.
Yeah, I mean, I look at this matchup. I think I'm going to go the other way, honestly. And I like Texas A&M. A big part of it being Cassius Howell over there. I mean, it's just disruptive. I think he's a guy that can get in the backfield. I think this one could be a higher scoring game, though. Really, I mean, I'm not sure. I can look up real quick what the over under is. Let's see here. Texas A&M versus Miami, because I am kind of curious. Um, shows right now about 3.5. We're looking like 48.5 points. Oh, man, this is going to be a really fun matchup. It's going to be a higher scoring game than that. I'd say hit the over for sure.
Yeah.
I lean Texas A&M. The big reason why I think Miami could win this one. All right, I really do. I think they seem like, again, the momentum leading into it just feels right. But the home environment, I mean, it feels kind of weird. I think I'm probably going home team on all four of these games, but uh, home environment mixed in with just which team do I believe has a better capability of being able to make a big play happen when it matters the most. And I lean towards Marcel Reed and what he's able to do. Now he has been a little careless with the ball at times, but overall this season I think he has just been a tremendous. Outside of that South Carolina game, and I think even arguably the Texas game, he's been an amazing player. And if he gets back to his roots in doing that, Marcel Reed, I think, is the difference in this one. It is going to be close. I think it could be a really high scoring game. I'm thinking like give me Texas A&M 38, Miami 34. Just like really high scoring game,
Wow.
and just a fun shootout. I could see it going either way though. I like your Miami pick. I'm just kind of leaning towards maybe getting Cassius Howell back there and disrupting and getting to Beck just enough to kind of disrupt this game a little bit, and then Marcel Reed just going out there and doing his thing.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be. We can literally sit here and talk all we want to, honestly, about these key matchups, Josh. But like, either way, like it's appointment TV noon Eastern Saturday ABC. Be there, be square. That's all I got to say.
It is a game that you do not want to miss. Texas A&M, Miami, first round of the playoffs. Going to be a fun one. Going to be one of the best, if not probably the best playoff
Yeah.
game in this entire playoffs. I don't know if it's going to get much better than this one. But anyways, that is it for us here on Rising to the Occasion. Hit subscribe, drop your score predictions in the comments, and enjoy the game this weekend. We'll be back next week to break it all down. But until then, keep on rising to the occasion. We'll catch you next time.